This is the book of Second Ezra, the ninth chapter, in the fifth verse, and it reads, "For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." The sixth verse, "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs." Before I get started with this lesson, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakhakwadash, double honors, and to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well, Shalom, and to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well, Shalom, Shalom. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children listening and learning from the servants and prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, and the hearty Shalom to the sincere brethren laboring across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, Shalom. So this is Brother Ashamath from the Watchman of the Coast Camp out here in San Diego, back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Lord's with I pray the lesson's edifying and it reaches the ears of the hopeful elect and is comforting. And what you see right here in front of your screen is the World Trade Tower, or the World Trade Center, being struck by lightning in New York City. This happened recently. You know, the World Trade Center being struck by lightning. It's fresh off the press, literally. It just happened recently. I would say early this morning or last night. And what you have happened a little while ago, well, you had that abominable statue out there in Rio de Janeiro be struck by lightning. And what happened also about 8 months before that, you had 4 people be struck by lightning right in front of the White House, and 2 of them died. If you go into the book of Revelation, we'll start here. Because these are all end time signs. You know, when we see things like this happening, we'll start in Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. We'll start here. In the first verse, and it reads, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself." And how do you measure the time diligently? Through the scriptures, and then gauging on what's going on outside in the world. What do you have going on? Uproars of the people in Lebanon, uproars of the people in France. JP Morgan basically putting it out there that they're tracking people's biometric information through financial technology. The gradualism towards the MOT to the B. The famine of the word is on the horizon because they're starting to come against free speech. Also, actual physical famine. They're using blockade and siege to cut off resources like EBT, SNAP, and they're going to introduce universal basic income as a guise of peace and safety to those ultimately that don't have a hedge of protection, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who the world through ignorance calls God and Jesus. Second Ezra 9:1, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself." And what does that word diligence means? Consistent effort. Consistent effort, you know? Constantly watching, constantly putting up videos, constantly sharing stuff in the community tab, you know, that pertains to prophecy or pertains to what's going on. Keeping people in the loop and staying in the loop. Second Ezra 9:1, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass," you have to see. The Lord has to open up your eyes to see and to hear, to understand, to know. "And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand." Then shalt thou understand after you see. Now, just reading that reminds me of 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, where Elisha was with his servant, and the Lord had to open up that servant's eyes so he could see, to understand that the angels are camped around Elisha, man. 2 Ezra 9:2, "Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." He's visiting this place. tornadoes tearing people up, earthquakes offing people in the thousands. And we're going to see more miraculous signs and wonders because we're in the end time of this place, Babylon the Great, which is the cash cow of this modern day Roman Empire, to be judged. This place is going to be judged. This place is getting judged. And ultimately, the earth is going to be renewed. But Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed. And we can't wait, man. Adon Rathazah, we're of that number. 2nd Ezra 9:3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's what we see all around the world. France, last year in Canada, you had the convoy. And what were they doing? They were shutting off people's bank accounts, limiting their access to move around, travel bans on people. Basically, what's going on in China, it's coming all over the world because China and also North Korea, they're model states for the New World Order, which the hopeful elect have victory over. The beast, his mark, his image, his name, and his number. And ultimately, rulership over. Just hold on. 2nd Ezra 9:4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And how does he speak? Through his prophets who've been around since the world begun. Let's just get it. Hebrews 1, and it reads, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets. Yep. Let's get the second verse. Had in these last days spoken unto us by his Son through the prophets, whom he had appointed heir of all things, whom also he made the worlds. Man. Unto whom he had made heir of all things. Going into rulership again, which just came out through the Spirit about a minute and a half ago, man. That's what's on the line. And hold on, that no man take thy crown. Let's go to Revelation 16. This won't be long-winded. Just wanted to speak on this through the Spirit because, these are the type of signs we look out for. And once again, going into the World Trade Center. What is the World Trade Center an extension of? It's an extension of one of the three unclean spirits, because you have the three unclean spirits that are mentioned in Revelation, the 16th chapter, going into the American military, the bankers who are living out there in London, and then you have also the false prophet, which is the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church. And what happened? All three of those things, as far as extensions of those things, got struck by lightning. And one of them actually got struck by lightning, as far as in Washington, D.C., in front of the White House. So you have extensions of the three unclean spirits being touched. This is all spiritual, man, because the Lord's ready to jack this place up and ultimately redeem his elect. This is Revelation 16 and 13. And it reads, And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. That's talking about the American military and Babylon the Great. And out of the mouth of the beast, that's talking about, London, and ultimately those elite bankers who are over there in London, who are in control of the European central banks and ultimately all central banks. And I saw three unclean spirits come out of the mouth of the dragon, Babylon the Great, where you have, America's military force that has more embassies and military bases than any other country set up all over the world. And out of the mouth of the beast, you know, the elite bankers over there, you know, who are living out there in the UK, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, and extensions of all three of these unclean spirits got struck by lightning within the past 9 months. Rio de Janeiro, the Redeemer statue. The World Trade Center, which is an extension of, you know, the unclean spirit of the beast. And then you have the dragon, which is the American military. What got struck? The White House. And four people struck, 2 people died. And I did a video on that, I believe, a little while ago, you know, when it happened. And out of the mouth of the false prophet. Well, that's the Vatican. And what do you have as far as the biggest statue out there? And I want to say it's in Brazil, is the Redeemer statue. You know? And I constantly talk about that statue needs to be destroyed, man. And that statue is going to be destroyed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai. You know? Just wait. This is 2 Ezra 9 and 5. And it reads, "For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest," the end of this eon, the end of this age, the end of this era of the rulership of the so-called white man, beginning with their elite bankers. 2 Ezra 9 and 6. "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and ending in Slakia." I'll get it again. 2 Ezra 9 and 6. "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works." And the Lord, He's showing, you know, ultimately, He's visiting this place. And endings and effects and signs. And that's what we see right here. And Barakat Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai. You know, blessed are your eyes for they see, and your ears for they hear. So I'm going to wrap it on up right here. Once again, Lord's will, you were edified and informed by this video. And Lord's will comforted. And ultimately, this is a sign that the Lord's ready to come and jack this place up and ultimately redeem us, man. This is beautiful, man. So with that, I'm going to close on out. And in closing, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak Wadash, double honors, and to the head apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who do rule well and teach well, Shalom, and to the elders and the elder bishops of Great Millstone as well. Shalom, shalom. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, the men, women, and children listening and learning from the servants and prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai, and the hearty shalom to the sincere brethren laboring across the four winds of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling and election sure. Shalom, shalom. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of valor in the DTA camps. First camps I ever heard the truth from. Isaiah 62 verses 6 through 7. Ye that make mention of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai, keep not silence, and give him no rest day or night. To Jerusalem is a praise in the earth. So till next time, next camp stream, next live lesson, next lesson, Shalom, DTA, Wa, Abba, Abba. Soon. Shalom.